All right, rock and roll. Here we are. The Scorched Earth Political Podcast for February 27th, 2025. Welcome all. Welcome one, welcome all. And I'm your host, John. First off, if you could, please kindly hit the subscribe and like button. It means a lot. Leave a comment. Live on the wild side. If you want to just go to the edge, leave those comments. And we will address them shortly. Maybe on the air. Maybe I will get the acerbic pen out and comment on the site. We've had a little problem with it. We got a lot of comments the other day. Seems like I got some anti-Trumpers out there, and I like it. Let's go. Let's get the Civil War going, man. This isn't a peaceful podcast, okay? It's Scorched Earth for a reason, okay? Let's burn and slash it. So I go and see my parents every day, and they're old, 85. I help out around the house. You know, I come in every day, take out the trash, do the dishes. It's weird, though. I wonder about their memories because they understand the concept of chores, but they somehow, in their old age, have forgotten the concept of allowance. I don't know, man. I thought there was pay for play, right? I mean, but nah. So my parents and I are on opposite ends of the spectrum. In my ill-spent youth, I was a Red Rock Republican, and then I saw the light. The Iraq War really changed everything for me. But my parents are still firmly ensconced in the Republican side. And it's funny, in the last couple of years, their deductible for Medicare has went down considerably because of Joe Biden. I think the cap on your deductible was $5,000 a couple years ago when Biden came into office, and last year it was $2,000. Well, Trump in his first day rescinded that, and now they're back up to $5,000. All right, no big deal. Somehow they want to blame Biden for it. I don't know. So I don't talk politics with my parents. That's like the subject we just don't talk about. They can do their thing. They can believe what they want to. I'll believe what I want to. Because at the end of the day, I know my mom is going to say it's the Democrats, it's Biden, it's the boogeyman, it's all that. That's the problem with everything, right? Not Trump, not anything. And if Trump did it, it's because of all the other people who stop him from doing what he wants. Whatever that means, let's move on. Maybe it's time to start doing some day drinking around my parents. So today, and my mom hasn't ever listened to the podcast, which keeps our relationship on a firm ground. And she said, maybe we ought to start talking politics every day. I go, why are we doing that? And she says, so you can get the anger out of you. You can get the anger out. I said, I like being angry. I like being pissed off at this administration. I like being pissed off at the power structure. And she goes, no. You need to diffuse. You need to get that anger out of you. I'm like, what do you want me to do? Put a lithium IV in me? I mean, just to mellow out? You want me to start doing CBD or marijuana or something? I don't know. What are you asking? She goes, if we talk it out, then you'll be more sedate. And I said, so you want me to get the anger out on you and try and keep our relationship okay? And she goes, well, I didn't really think about it like that. All right, there we go. Guess I don't have to worry about Christmas presents anymore if we start talking about politics. Maybe birthday, too. Mother's Day's coming up. Maybe that's one way to get out of that. I don't know. All right, lock and load. We're taking no prisoners, telling no lies. And now off we go. Well, it looks like Fat Donnie has a little problem with the Wall Street Journal. Probably the most conservative paper in the United States for a national publication. Seems the Wall Street Journal used facts. We always know that's a problem when you're dealing with Donald Trump, right? In the editorial yesterday, and said how Michigan and the auto industry would be severely hurt by the tariffs on imports from Canada and Mexico that Trump is threatening on March 1st. Now, that is Saturday. And we deal with the dichotomy here because Trump says a lot of things, and most of the things he doesn't go through with. But the problem is he's the president. So you have to take it seriously Don't you? I mean, I think we do, right? So when he says they're going to impose tariffs, we got to start dealing with that issue. We just can't suspend it, kind of like the sale of TikTok, right? And I'm telling you, I haven't seen one thing on that. I don't even know what the hell's going on with that. I still, for the life of me, do not understand how a law passed by the House, bipartisan, by the Senate, bipartisan, and then signed by the president can just be suspended by the incoming president. And a law that was enacted a day before he got there. Like, okay, maybe you can explain to me how laws work. Like in California here, can Gavin Newsom, if there's a law he doesn't like, can he just suspend it? No, don't want it. Sorry, nothing to see here. So the Wall Street Journal in their editorial yesterday said if the goal is to harm U.S. auto workers and Republican prospects in the state of Michigan, then by all means, go ahead, Mr. President. The Journal correctly pointed out that all cars and trucks assembled in Michigan do so with parts imported from Mexico and Canada. It cited studies, the Wall Street Journal did, that show the cost of building a full-size SUV would increase by $9,000 and a pickup by $8,000. Hey, wait. Isn't that the current price of a dozen eggs? Let me think. Trump attacked the Wall Street Journal, because when he's not trying to figure out how to merge the two golf tours together, I guess he's got to read the Wall Street Journal. Forget it. Nothing else to worry about. Lowering those prices every day? Don't worry about it. Measles outbreak? Nothing to see here. Nothing else going on in the government. Don't you fret. He attacked the Wall Street Journal article without evidence. That seems to be his favorite way to go at things. He's so intuitively smart, he doesn't need facts. That tariffs will drive a massive amount of auto manufacturing back to Michigan, a state which I easily won in the presidential election. Okay, you won it. I do keep waiting when we're going to get that evidence of the fraud in the 2020 election. Still waiting on it. You got the DOJ, you got the CIA, you got the FBI, you got the House, you got the Senate. Can't wait to see it. Can't wait to see that evidence. Under the free trade agreements that were crafted in the 1990s between the U.S., Canada, and Mexico, and Trump reinforced during his first administration, automakers have operated for decades as if North America is a single market without borders. Right? They can transfer things across, no tariffs, no nothing. With parts and vehicles moving freely across the borders during the assembly process, this allows our vehicles to be made at a cheaper price, right? We're making parts in Mexico, in Canada, where their labor rate is less than the United States. They come here because of agreements we've made with the UAW, a good union. They assemble it here. Okay, honestly, if everything was made in the U.S., the $50,000 truck would be $75,000. Okay, or an SUV would be another $10,000. Okay, that's just what it would be. And everybody wants built in America, made in America until they got to pay more. I live up here in the mountains in Southern California, and I swear to you, I see people going down the hill because something is 30 cents. A $3 item is $3.30 or $3.35. They're like, oh, I'll just get it tomorrow on my way up the hill. I'm like, wow, 35 cents. Okay, look, everybody's got a budget. I'm not telling you what you got to do and where you got to pinch pennies, but if you think that, honestly, everybody out there is, shopping at Whole Foods or Sprouts or Gelson's, you're crazy. People are rationing money and paying an extra $10,000 for an SUV. I don't think you're going to do very well for that market. So, no automaker has dropped plans to build plants in Canada or Mexico and relocate them to the United States or any other country because of the threat of tariffs. Now, Trump's top, that'll be Elon Musk, has delayed plans to build a Tesla plant in Mexico. We'll see what ends up happening there. I got a funny feeling when he gets kicked out of the administration that, he may redouble down on the Mexico efforts. There is an interesting thing, though, and I want everybody to be aware of this. Stellantis, which makes vehicles in North America under the cooperation agreement with Jeep, Chrysler, Dodge, that basic banner, has announced plans to restart production at a closed plant in Belvidere, Illinois. But, surprise, and don't let Trump take credit for this one. I'm building tension here. I'm building excitement. Da 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 da. It was already going to do this as part of a 2023 labor agreement with the UAW during the Biden administration. Oh, God forbid we give any credit to Joe Biden. Oh, Joe, we already miss you. We already miss you, buddy. All right. This is a story that is definitely going to get me worked up. Okay. Just cut me, Mick. Just cut me, Mick. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. All right, John. Let's see what you got. Let's see what you got. See if you can make through this next 5 minutes. Measles outbreak in 8 states. All I can say is Jesus Christ. I mean, what else do you got to say? This is a real thing, people. A real thing. So yesterday, it was confirmed 1 death in Lubbock, Texas area amid an outbreak infecting more than 120 people. Okay? Facebook post I saw 3 days ago. And this is real. I'm not giving out the lady's name. Somehow this lady is a friend of mine. I don't know. I got a couple thousand. And she posted, I have an 8-year-old daughter. There's a measles outbreak here in Texas. What can I do to protect her? And I actually responded, is this serious? Is this real? It's like saying, I am dehydrated. I am about to be vanquished because of lack of water, and I am laying next to a lake. Am I going to put my mouth in the lake, or am I just going to sit here and hope somebody just walks up and gives me an IV? So everybody on the page said you can get the vaccination, and she didn't respond to anybody. I went back the next day, because I am a tech bro, even though I don't know how to access the comments page, and she didn't respond to anybody. And I know somebody who lost her mom. This is when I worked at the hospital. And she was very anti-COVID vax. And I really, honestly, I just don't even know how to tell you this. She lost her mom from COVID. And this is before the vaccine was really prevalent. It was an unfortunate situation. And I said, man, it's a shame you couldn't have got her the vaccine in time. And she said, even if the vaccine was out, I wouldn't have had her get it. And I said, but she would have died. She said, I would rather die than get the vaccine. And this is what all these people in Texas who are unvaccinated are doing with their kids. Like, we're playing Russian roulette here. I mean, we're not doing this Chinese medicine where you bring an herb or a rhino horn or something like this and, let's put the sage out there and try and cure you. Christ's sake, we got something that's 99.99% effective, and people still aren't getting, quote unquote, the jab. Like, wow. How effing stupid can you be? If you want to be that stupid with your own life, hey, man, cool. But you got kids. You got a responsibility. Well, I think you do. Maybe you're just an a-hole. God, I can't. Oh, I'm getting worked up. So Lubbock health officials and the Department of State, the health services for Texas, said the patient was unvaccinated. Oh, spoiler alert. School child who died yesterday. Covenant Children's Hospital in Lubbock, Texas, has seen about 20 patients with measles, and several have needed intensive care. None of the patients had been hospitalized as of last week. Well, We got a little update on that Wednesday night from the Texas State Health Department. Said 18 people had been confirmed hospitalized because of the measles outbreak in the Lubbock area. There we go. Now, it said while most people's symptoms improve, about 1 in 5 unvaccinated people will be hospitalized who are exposed to measles. Let's get the story get me more ramped up. I'm telling you, I'm going to need a shot of bourbon after this. I'm going to need a shot of bourbon. RFK Jr. on his X post downplayed the measles outbreak. It is not unusual we have measles outbreaks every year. Well, Bobby, the whale killer, the bear killer, whatever you want to be called, you are a fat liar. Fat liar. FL. Just like your boss, Donnie. BBC fact reports measles outbreaks in the United States are considered rare. Measles was considered eliminated in the USA in 2000. Jeez, it sure seems like longer than 25 years ago, doesn't it, my friends? 2023 saw 59 cases in the U.S. 2024 saw 285 cases in the entire year. The current outbreak in Texas has already seen 124 cases this year. We aren't even out of February. Here's some cute little measles facts for all you. 1 out of 1,000 people will develop brain swelling. 3 out of 1,000 will die from measles. That is just unacceptable on every level. Don't you care about your families? Don't you care about your kids? Instead of believing some TikTok bullshit? God. Also, another little advantage of getting the measles, there also can be fatal neurological complications that occur years after infection. You know, kind of like when we had COVID, there's long hauler syndromes, right? There's things that affect you. Somehow you survive, but you're going to have to live with that for the rest of your life. Parents, inoculate, vaccinate your kid today. You know, I do have a friend. He's going to be on the podcast, Brother Scott, and we are about as fundamentally opposite on politics as you can be. But he did bring up an interesting point. That's probably about a year ago. He said, well, how did it all change where the people who were anti-vax were the extreme left, the Jenny McCarthy's, the Jada Pinkett Smiths, those type of people. And now it's the extreme right or the right. And I go, I don't know. That's a great question. I think a lot of it has to do with Trump's attitude towards vaccinations, but, especially the COVID one. But I don't know. It is weird. Why? You know what? If you've been listening this far, if you haven't fallen asleep, leave a comment. Tell me what you think. Tell me why you think it moved from the left to the right. I got to keep hydrated. The anger gets me going. All right. Let's talk about some other little odd things in the news. The Trump administration got their protest or their challenge of a ruling to halt the deadline to restart foreign aid payments. So what happened is at midnight last night, a federal judge for the second time was telling them they had to restart their foreign aid money to foreign contractors for services rendered. The Supreme Court upheld the Trump administration protesting it, saying, no, we don't have to do it. We can deal with it at a different time. All right. So there's $2 billion currently in unpaid invoices from foreign aid contractors. The Trump administration has flouted earlier court rulings to restore the money. On February 13th, U.S. District Judge Amir Ali ordered the Trump administration to restore the funds immediately, but the State Department found ways to keep the freeze on the money. Now we're at the 27th. They got a 2-week reprieve. I don't even know how you do that. I don't, for the life of me, understand how Congress can allot money for a program and the president can come in and say, nope, we're not giving the money. And I'm going to tell you something, all you Republicans who are laughing and giggling, yeah, F you too. But I'm telling you, 4 years I'm running for president, and I'm going to tell you something. First day in, I'm going to say, the military? Sorry, no money. Let's see the shit fit that starts then. Nope, no money. Hey, I don't care if we got $1 trillion allotted to do it. I'm not paying it. Nope. Treasury Department, stop it. See how it is when it's on your side of the ledger. Let's see how that goes. I'll take the $1 trillion. You know what I'm going to do? I'm running for president now. Okay, I want you to know, 2028. My platform is I'm going to take the money out of the military. I'm going to make it for universal health care for everybody in the United States. How about that? That's my platform. Let's see how that goes. Universal health care for all. Forget Medicaid, forget Medicare. We all get it. We all get it. And then the other $900 billion, I think we're all going to Vegas. All right? All right, Marjorie Taylor Greene's back in the news. The lady who is proof that Indians did have sex with water buffalo says federal workers do not deserve their paychecks. Federal workers do not deserve their jobs. So what you're saying, Marjorie, is we don't need Social Security. Don't need anybody to pay us there. We don't need FEMA. Nope. And I can't wait till the next natural disaster comes to Georgia. How about unemployment? How about Medicaid? Hey, how about all the people who work at the VA or the Defense Department? They're federal workers. Yeah. All right. Musk was at the cabinet meeting yesterday of all the cabinet heads for Trump. And, man, I'll tell you what, everybody had to get down and kiss the ring. When Trump's top is in the room, damn it, you're going to kiss the boot. You're going to kiss the boot. Trump, though, had quite a few lies. We're going to correct them right now. He had so many lies, I can't go through it because this can't be a 6-hour podcast. But he said at the top of his little diatribe, his lie fest, let's call it the lie fest. He said the U.S. gave $350 billion to Ukraine. Europe only gave $100 billion. Maybe he doesn't realize that we have accountants, that we have people who actually audit it and tell us how much we gave, how much was appropriated by the Senate, how much was appropriated by Congress, because we actually have real numbers. Here we go. Wall Street Journal, real facts. Europe actually gave $259 billion to Ukraine. The U.S. gave $125 billion. Now, I'm going to give the devil his due. There was one place where Trump was semi-correct. The U.S. did give $67 billion in military aid, and Europe gave $65 billion. And I'm going to say something. I follow the news. That actually seems kind of low to me. I mean, it seemed like out of the $125 billion we gave, half as a military aid. I get that, but I tell you, it seemed like every 6 months they were giving $40 billion and it was all in military aid. So, but that's what the Wall Street Journal is. Hey, if I got to correct it, I'll own it. I want this to be as truthful as possible. I'm not trying just to do this Tokyo Rose thing where I wax poetically about the liberals and I ignore the other stuff. There is some stuff that Trump does that's okay. I mean, I will say this. He got Apple to say they're going to put $500 billion into building structures and building infrastructure in the United States to build phones and computer chips. And I think that's a good thing. I think that's a really good thing. I think what Biden did with the Chip and Science Act in 2022 was a great thing, so we are not as dependent on Taiwan. Because mark my words, in the next couple years, China is going to be laying siege on Taiwan. And then literally the entire computer chip market is going to be cornered and owned by China. But that's another thing for another day. Trump, lie number 2 that we're going to discuss, claimed that Europe doesn't accept U.S. farm products. Sometimes you just sit there and go, does this guy understand he's wasting oxygen? Like, I mean, all this dude lies and lies and lies, and it's like, July. I mean, every word out of his mouth. You want to shock us? Tell the truth on something. But the fact is, the EU bought $12.3 billion worth of U.S. agriculture last year, making it the fourth largest export market for U.S. agriculture behind. Now, who would you think are the top three? If you asked me, I would say Mexico, because it's so close, probably Canada, and I would say maybe Brazil, somebody in our continent. That's who I would think. John, you're only partially correct. Alex, what do we say? The number one purchaser of our agricultural products is China. I wouldn't have thought that. But, you would think because of the time to get it from America to China, the things would go bad, but maybe that's why we have so many beautiful preservatives in our vegetables and fruit. Mexico was number 2 and Canada was number 3. Seems like they're good trade partners, but what do I know? He claimed, this is another lie, he claimed that the U.S. took in hundreds of billions of dollars of tariffs from China during his presidency, didn't actually give a number, then claimed no other president took in even 10 cents. Well, the fact is, let's start with the basic fact. We've had tariffs on China since the 1700s, right? The U.S. was generating billions of dollars in tariffs in revenue each year when Trump took office. Now, did he increase it? We don't know. They're very vague on it. And I think the reason they are vague on it and obtuse is because then at the end of the day, I don't care what Trump says, you and I are paying for the tariffs. So if it's all of a sudden it's $100 billion, that's $100 billion we could have saved at the supermarket or the grocery, somewhere at the department store, at Target, at Walmart, whatever. Oh God, I hate Walmart. Lord, my skin crawls. Excuse me. I got a Walmart allergy. Christ's sakes. Maybe I'm really going to get some backlash, but I don't really care. I almost, how you have hand sanitizer? If I ever go into a Walmart, I literally have to bathe in it. I have to put it all over my body to get all of the stuff that isn't a Walmart off me. And it's just the attitude of the corporation. Honestly, when we get Trump out of here in 4 years, I think we ought to, instead of locking him in a prison, we ought to lock him in a Walmart. Just leave him there for 4 years. Let's see how that orange hair does, right? So I don't think they understand that the public pays for tariffs. We're going to find out. We're going to see Saturday if he institutes the March 1st tariffs on Canada and Mexico. I got a funny feeling he's going to pull back on it, but, let's see what happens. His next lie was he said inflation was non-existent in his first term and prices were stable. Actually, inflation was about 1.5% a year each year of his presidency, which isn't bad. It isn't bad. Now, I personally think he was riding the coattails of the Obama presidency and the economy, but okay. Heavy lies the crown. You get the credit, you get the blame. Okay, whatever. But prices rose a little over 8% from when he was inaugurated to when he left office. He also claimed inflation is currently stopping. Well, that is a total bold lie because in his first 30 days in office, it's been up 3%. We're living in a world where you have to believe in something. You have to believe in the facts. And we are dealing with somebody for the second go around who just says stuff and thinks it's going to be true, right? I mean, that's just what he thinks. And our job is, as citizens of the United States, to, just keep going. Just keep going, keep finding the facts. I had somebody send me a thing today about some guy who had 34 aliases in Louisiana, stole millions of dollars from the Social Security. I put it in Google, and they said there's nothing on the Doge website about it. It's just a meme that generated by AI on TikTok. Give me a name. If you have friends who are Republicans and they give you give me a name of this person who's stealing all the Social Security, who's stealing all the Medicaid, who's stealing all this stuff that they want to take away from the American people. Give me a name. I keep waiting for the names. All right. That'll be our podcast for today, but don't be sad because it's coming to an end. Be happy because we were able to spend this time together. I love you all. Go out, love each other, unless it's a Republican. Then be careful. You might want hand sanitizer to disinfect yourself. Let's preserve democracy. Let's keep fighting for the rights. And I will see you tomorrow. Peace out.